Alright guys, what is up? This is Shatner's Prodigy bringing you the first episode of Fabled Quasar vs. the World on its new home Friday. That's right, I am moving this to Friday because, you may not know this, but I work Monday, Thursday, and Friday. It's a good gig, but it doesn't leave me a lot of time to get the duels and put them together and find music for Fabled Quasar vs. DevPro, so I figure I'd move DevPro to Monday and Quasar to Friday, just so I can have a little bit of extra time to work on that Fabled Quasar vs. DevPro episode. Now you may be wondering, you didn't upload a single video this week, what were you working on? Well, I was working on unbricking my computer. Yeah, in the process of finding the software that works, I was quite frequently not able to distinguish between good software and malware, so I had a lot of malware on my computer. No one's fault but my own, and so because of that, I had to clear the disk on my computer, get everything off of it. If I do have a virus on here, that's not going to help, but if I do, and hopefully I don't, then whatever, I'll just buy a new laptop. So, here are the guys playing Clifford, and nothing I can do about that. That's also why a lot of the stuff you'll see is different, like I lost the intro, I lost the outro, I lost all my files. But whatever, I mean, sometimes new is better, right? Hey. And he has that machine duplication. He couldn't keep up with my lazy guy math because of his struggle net. And so here I'm trying to work on what to do, and if you can't tell, this is the TRISULA edition of Fabled Quasar vs. the World, where I summon TRISULA as many times as possible. In order to celebrate its unbanning, here a little HP support pop-up thing comes up. I can't do much about that until my mouse gets the option to close it. So I close it out and I summon the first TRISULA, and I use its effect, banish the only card that really makes sense in his graveyard. And I'm also going to banish, I think, one of his face downs. And he's a bit confused because he thinks that Recreate will negate TRISULA, but it won't because it's a mandatory effect. And on a chain it will always go as chain link 1, so optional effects will go as chain link 2, but if I had another mandatory effect, my mandatory effect would go on as chain link 1, if that makes any sense. It's a bit of a wonky rolling, but it's one I learned the hard way whenever I tried to use it against Teller Knights. It will act as a breakthrough skill slash skill drain only if you chain it to an effect. He has the Dark Hole, and then he goes for his Wombo combo here, or he will eventually. Nothing I can do. I do have the Glow Up Bulb unused in Grave, which I could go for, but not if he has this Wombo combo. He activates this card, which if you don't know what it does, it gives all Clifford monsters 300 attack and negates their effects, so they're both at their respective original attacks, and there's nothing I can do, so I scoop it up. And let's count how many times I TRISULA this guy. I love TRISULA. So here I draw, and I just set and pass, nothing much I can do. He activates Dark World Dealings, I don't really need to desynchros. He activates 1 day apiece. I don't really need 2 Chawas. I'm not sure what I'm really going to do with this hand, but I do know that I can potentially go for TRISULA, which is something I always like, and if he commits anything to the field, I can banish 3 cards. So I drop the Dinotherium before pitching Grimro, because that's what you should do, so your opponent can't bring out Grimro. Then I go for this play here. I summon out Grimro, and I go for TRISULA, knowing I can desynchro into Reagan if need be, so I banish his 1 day apiece, just because in case he has Magical Stone Excavation, he won't be able to get it back. I banish something from his hand, it's a Hero Lives, so I know I'm playing heroes. I go for Formula Synchron, and that's TRISULA number 1, people, so keep count of that. I draw into nothing overly good. I can't really do much at this point. I'm thinking about what I should do, and I think I go for a Reagan here. And what I'm really trying to do is just get the draws going, see if I can make a Quasar. Right now there's nothing much I can do, so I could go for the second TRISULA, just to pick cards out of his hand. Still nothing I should really hit in his graveyard, but I managed to snipe out another Hero Lives, so that won't be played this entire duel. And I didn't use Soul Charge, so I just go into the battle phase, bring back my Level Eater, and just pass it back to him. Now the ratings were reset, which is why I'm not playing the usual brand of tryhard slash just scum of the earth. So he castells my TRISULA, which I don't really care that much about, because that just means I can summon it back again. Here I go for that Pro, just absolute beast. Airdrug Sunrise, such a skilled card to use. And then I use my Glow Up Bulb to go for the TG Hyper Librarian slash, what do you call it? Hyper Librarian slash Formula Synchron to get those 2 draws. And I still haven't used my normal summon, I don't think. So I think, actually I think I may have. Sorry, I used my normal summon on Glow Up Bulb. Never mind. So I have nothing much I can do except just pass it back to him. He sets his Prisma and a back row, and guess what time it is? It's time for the 3rd Trishula. Yes, that's right. Fabled is the most consistent Trishula engine confirmed. So Trishula, of course, doesn't target, but I'm just going to click on those 2 cards, and he scoops it up. I mean, if I got Trishula 3 times, I'd scoop it up too. Trishula is just the comeback queen, even though I'm in like an elevated position. There, I'm sorry about that, I had to take my dogs on a walk, so I had to pause the recording, but nothing too much about that. Arkham Knight with that awesome PC port. So here I activate Foolish Burial to send my Grimrow to the graveyard, so I can use Crust to bring it back and go for the Reagan. I summon out Reagan, and I use the Reagan effect to draw 2 cards, 1 day apiece into that. And then I bring back Chawa and go for the worst play I think I've ever made. So I go for Desynchro here to bring back the materials for Reagan to summon out TG Hyper Librarian to get 3 draws off, without realizing that I had already brought out the, what do you call it? That I already brought out the Chawa from Airdrug Sunrise. So I scrub out there, nothing much I can do. He questions why I drew 2 cards, and I just tell him. I draw another 2 cards, and here I decide to pass with this hand just so I can try and go for a Synchro play next turn. Maybe a Quasar, maybe a Trishula, depending on what he has. He normal summons out Cyber Valley. Die 1 day apiece into just what I need. I normal summon out Raven. And here I'm doing my calculations, trying to figure out how can I Trishula this guy. Because I just love Trishula, man. I don't know if you knew this, but I've never played in a format where Trishula is legal. So the fact that I'm getting that chance is just so amazing. I Grimrow for Nizuchi, I Grimrow for Crust, so I can bring back the, what do you call it? Grimrow, and go for the Trishula. Now Trishula is going to target, of course, his Dark Bribe. I mean, it doesn't target, sorry. And it's going to get his Cyber Valley just because I don't want that thing on the field. Because if I attack into it, he'll just banish it and get more advantage. And so I attack into it. I'm not going to be afraid of 1 back row. I couldn't care less. So he draws a card, goes to main phase 1, sets a card, and passes back. I attack into it. It's Penguin Soldier, all things. So it bounces my Trishula back. Whatever. At least he didn't send it to the graveyard. I can at least Synchro Summon it again this way. I got nothing, so I just pass it back to him. He's got nothing. Here I decided to go for the Wombo combo. Hope I draw into a monster to use with 1 for 1. And here I just decide to summon out that so I can go into the Fabled Reagan just to get those draws. And I'll draw 2 cards, and I draw into the perfect card. What do you call it? Soul Charge. So here I just decide to nuke his board. Just for no other reason than I feel like it. And here I'm going to go for the Quasar. I'm trying to do calculations, see if I can get both a Quasar and a... what do you call it? See if I can get both a Quasar and a Trishula on board. Turns out I can't. If I had a Level Eater, I could have, but I don't have Level Eater, so I decide to go for this play, see if I can draw into the Level Eater. I can't, so I'm stuck going into the Phonon Pulse Dragon. And Phonon is going to call level 1 just to make that Quasar. And now I'm in a lot better position. So he activates, I think it's Swords of Revealing Light, and I'm going to negate it. He doesn't see the token, so I just say that I negate it, and then he uses 1 day apiece, so I can't damage him next turn. I think I'm going to be able to go for... no, I won't. I attack into a Dark Resonator, he flips it up, and it's back to me. Nope, back to him, sorry. So he sets 1 card, passes, and let's see what I got. So now I have the Wombo combo. I can go for the 3rd Trishula. He activates that, but he can't because his life points are higher than mine. And of course, I'm not going to be banishing that with Trishula. So I special summon out Dinotherium. I ask him if he's using the effect. He takes about 87 years to respond. And because of that, I just assume he's not. And so I'll be able to activate double summon and normal summon out Ganashia to get the 9th level on board. I currently have 6. And that will allow me to go for the second TRISULA. And that should clear the game out. So I go into TRISULA, and I decide to start banishing. I take out the Rainbow Karibo, he activates Rainbow Life, I put the token on, telling him that it's done. And here he says, I activated Rainbow Life, I say I negate it, and he refuses to accept, so I quit out of the duel. I'm counting that as a win, because Salt doesn't negate wins, contrary to what capital G may think. And we're moving on to the 4th duel. He gets the first turn Dark Claw, and I scoop. By the way, speaking of Mega Capital G, he's streaming this Sunday, and if you haven't checked him out yet, I highly recommend you check out Mega Capital G. He's a Yugi tuber who recently moved into streaming. I'm actually a moderator on his stream. I don't gain anything from you going there. We don't have like a co-sponsorship deal, whatever that means. I don't even make money off these videos, but if you want to go check him out and have just a really great time, go for it. So into our 5th duel here against Killers, Merrick, sorry. I activate Grimro to get Cross, and then I activate Where Art Thou to get Chawa. So I can go for that Chawa Cross Grimro rig in play. I draw into 2 cards, and such is life, I don't draw very well. I think I have 2 Dark World dealings and nothing else. So I decided to go for Formula and draw 2 more cards just to see if I can get that Wombo combo. Hope I draw the perfect thing, and of course I do. So I pitch Grimro to get Crust so I can bring back the Raven and make it level 3. And this way I'll be able to get Quasar out. Maybe I could have TRISULA'd him, I don't know. I think Quasar was better in this situation. I leave the 2 cards in my hand because I have no way to get him out, and just negate Scar him and pass. So he's playing Burning Abyss. I've had a historically good matchup against Burning Abyss. I beat them at locals 1 time, 1 game out of 3, but typically they take a while to respond to a Quasar, and this guy is no exception. So as I was saying, Mega Capital G, streaming this Sunday. Check him out on Twitch at twitch.com/MegaCapitalG. It's great fun. If you want to spam Kappas, I'll let you. Alright, so he finally decides to go for Book of Moon. I decided not to negate it, because I think he's going to go for a Farfa play, and I'll just get it back in the end phase. Turns out my worst fears are confirmed, and he goes for a Virgil play. And Virgil's tough, because if I would have negated the Book of Moon, Virgil would have been no problem. I could have dealt with it in an instant. Just shooting Star Dragon to attack over it. He takes about 47 years to respond and make his plays, so I don't really have anything I can do about that. Summons out Rubik, goes for Farfa, goes for that Virgil, and I just scoop it up. I can't really deal with Virgil with this hand, and I just draw into Mizuchi, which doesn't help at all. But yeah, that's been the video. Thank you for watching. Rip in peace all my stuff, but whatever. Happens. Anyways, this has been Shatner's Prodigy, signing out.